go, baby. Come on. It up. Put the heavens down. We're gonna get on him. Watch the water. It's gonna get snotty. I got it. I got it. I got it.
Carlos and Charlie's is in third place, but at the start, Carlos and Charlie's was right up there, so they really should be in a better position. Well, in a short moment, we're going to go aboard Carlos and Charlie's and find out what might have happened right after the green flag, if they ran into any sort of problem. Carlos and Charlie's will be going aboard with Jack Carmody and Art Lilly to possibly find an explanation for the position that they are in right now. Let's go aboard Carlos and Charlie's.
Well's down! What? Steering wheel came off. Damn it. Right there? Yeah, go. Fucking steering wheel came off. Go ahead. I'm trying, Jack. Son of a bitch. I tell you to turn. All right. Jump over his wake. Turn. Straighten out.
Welcome, everyone, to the 2000 Buffalo Offshore Challenge, coming to you from beautiful Buffalo, New York. Hi, everyone. This is Vince Lipari on behalf of Jeff Girardi and the rest of the Freeze Frame Video production crew. This is the 7th national race for the APBA and the 7th stop on the APBA's Pro Series 2000. We had great racing in St. Clair, San Diego, Fort Myers, Corpus Christi, also Sarasota, and Baltimore. And of course, we expect great racing right here in Buffalo as well today. Now, this Buffalo event is the last scheduled race until the Nationals in Washington, North Carolina. Now, this is the race that positions teams for the points championships in October. The World Championships in November is a standalone points race and is after the season-long constructors and drivers finale. Now, here in Buffalo, this is a 4-race event taking place over 2 days this weekend. Over 90 boats in all entered in this competition. We've got the Supercat, the Super V, the Factory 3, 4, 2, and 1, all the Outlaw performance classes as well. Now, in today's event, it will consist of 2 races, the Outlaw P classes and Outlaw V. That's in the first race. Now, in the second race, we've got Outlaw A, and we've got the P1, P2, and Factory 1. 18 competitors in all in the second race, 24 competitors in all in the first race, and they are, first off, in Outlaw E, we've got Fountain and Warlock Powerboats. In Outlaw V, Team Armada, Transpro Racing, Just Pray, Warlock Phantom, and Immaculate. In Outlaw C, Great Lakes Caspers, Mountain Dew Warlock, Anything's Possible, and Performance Marine. That's Outlaw C. In Class 3, it's P396 Eagle Motorsports. In Class 4, it's Rhino Racing Team, Motion Marine, Drillin', and Boxer. And in Class 5, it's Wild Rose, Not Guilty, Mickey, and Short Circuit. Now, in the second race, we have an Outlaw A, Team Energy, Team Irresistible, and Traffic Light. In P Class 1, it's Out for Justice, and in Factory 1, 12 competitors in all. We've got Team Warlock, Team Progression, Moral Hazard, Team Warlock Powerboat, Typhoon, Alehouse, Full Tilt Racing, FountainDirect.com, Twisted Chicks, Rusty Wallace Fountain, Team Baja, Team Formula, and Team Progression. Now the top three, as far as point standings are concerned, we've got Team Warlock in first, and Alehouse and FountainDirect.com. So there should be a highly competitive race for these three boats who are vying for position. Now, the best viewing for this race is from the Pier 1 restaurant, and of course, Don Q Rums will be involved in a large party for all of the fans to celebrate the success of the Don Q Supercat from Puerto Rico. Now, the APBA and the Buffalo Offshore Racing Association have teamed up to present a spectacular event. The APBA officials include APBA President Michael Allweiss, Carrie Rasmussen, head of operations, Mike Tomlinson, chief referee, Jim Poplin, safety director, Dee Kimes, chief scorer, and Lynn Eason, registration, as well as Brian Hollis, marketing director. Also special thanks to Mimi and Humphrey, members of the Buffalo Club. Now, the dry and wet pits are both located at the Pier 1 restaurant. Freeze Frame Video Productions providing onboard cameras, 19 onboard cameras in all for this event. And in today's race, in this first race, we've got onboard camera aboard Wild Rose. Typhoon has 2 cameras, a front and back camera. Warlock F191 has a camera as well, F192, and the remainder of the cameras will be in tomorrow's race. Once again, 19 onboard cameras and all provided by Freeze Frame Video Productions. Now, some of the sponsors for this Buffalo Offshore Challenge include Millennium Fuels, East Pier Marina, Limeward Corporation, Sweeteners Plus, Multiport Drive Showers, and County Line Stone Company. And some of the sponsors for the Pro Series 2000 APBA are Fountain Powerboats, Warlock, Baja, Mercury, Citgo, Millennium Fuels, Yanmar Diesel, Formula, Liberty Coach, Moto1.net, and of course, Freeze Frame Video Productions. And of course, Freeze Frame is certainly proud to be a part of this 7th stop on this APBA Pro Series Tour. Here, this Buffalo Offshore Challenge, coming to you from Buffalo, New York. Performance Marine. Very shortly, we will be airborne to bring you this Buffalo Offshore Challenge 2000. And now, as you can see, we are airborne here in Buffalo, New York for this Buffalo Offshore Challenge, and we are overlooking the Erie Basin Marina. And of course, the wet pits and dry pits at the Pier 1 restaurant. A great facility here for this race, as you can see. Very cold temperatures in the 50s today. Of course, here it gets much colder in the winter. Everyone knows about the Buffalo snow. We are now over the milling area, getting ready for this race. First race of the day. And in this first race, we've got the Outlaw E, the V, and the C, and of course the P3, 4, and 5. We've got Fountain, Warlock Powerboats, Immaculate, Team Armada, Transpro Racing, Just Prey, Warlock Phantom, Performance Marine, many boats. You can see now they are following the pace boat, getting ready for this start. And there we see Warlock Phantom, also Warlock Powerboats, Immaculate Conception, and Just Prey. Getting ready now, lining up, waiting for the green. You see the pace boat on the inside. There, of course, is Just Prey and Immaculate. We also have Immaculate Conception, Warlock, Phantom Warlock, Fountain, Performance Marine, Just Prey, and Mountain Dew. And we've got a green flag now in this Buffalo Offshore Challenge 2000. Immaculate Conception off to the lead. Everyone off to a great start. We've got Immaculate Conception, Just Pray, and Phantom Warlock. Those are your early leaders, but everyone really off to a great start here in this first race in Buffalo, New York. And there we have Performance Marine and Mountain Dew. And as we look to the leaders, we've got Just Pray, Immaculate Conception, and Phantom Warlock. There on the inside is Immaculate Conception, Just Pray on the outside. Immaculate Conception, as we said, on the inside in the early moments of this race. B94, it's a 24-foot Armada with Todd Clinworth, the driver, and Tress Martin, the throttle man. And on the outside of Immaculate Conception is Just Pray with Lee Baker, the driver, and Scott Utah, the throttle man. And there is Mountain Dew right behind on the far outside. And there's Warlock Phantom right behind Mountain Dew. Of course, your leaders are Immaculate Conception and Just Pray on the outside. So there you have Just Pray and Immaculate Conception. Immaculate Conception on the inside, Just Pray on the outside. They are identical, both 24-foot Armadas. Todd Clinworth is the driver, Tress Martin is the throttle man aboard Immaculate Conception. Of course, Just Pray, we've got Lee Baker and Scott Utah. Door-to-door racing right now, as you can see. Now, these two boats are very, very close in the national point standings. Immaculate Conception in third place, Just Pray in second, but they're very close, so those positions can change very easily depending on how these boats do in this race. Of course, Warlock Phantom is in first place in this class by a wide margin, and will probably stay in that position after this race. So it's Warlock Phantom in first place, and then in second you got Just Pray, and in third it's Immaculate Conception 1, 2, and 3 in the national point standings. But right now it's real close between these two boats here in the early moments of this race, you can see. Now, the reason Warlock Phantom has such a big lead in the national point standings is that Just Pray and Immaculate Conception did not run in every race this season. All right, there we are with Immaculate Conception in first place right now, with Tress Martin and Todd Clinworth, as we said, in third place in the national point standings. And right now, first in category right now, first in Outlaw V. Bumpy waters here in Lake Erie. As we said, rather cool temperatures in the 50s today. Merc Cruiser powered. Cloudy skies, but beautiful cloudy skies. There on the far outside is Just Pray on the far outside. Still very close. There is Just Pray. It's a real battle here. These two boats, these 24-foot Armadas. Just Pray now making its move. Lee Baker and Scott Utah aboard. And Just Pray, for the moment anyway, has taken over the lead over Immaculate Conception. Just Pray Racing Team, let's give a special thanks to APBA Consultants and Mark Baker for their continued support. A very special thanks to Clean Safe Technologies. Also thanking their families and friends for their continued support. Also special thanks to Security Race Products and Ben Hedrick for making the race vessel the safest in the class. Also thank you to Boat Pro Marine and Mr. Bill Worley. And an additional thank you to Dean and Aussie Island Surf Shop and Oakley Sunglasses. Just Pray right now in first place with Lee Baker and Scott Utah. Bumpy waters here in Lake Erie. Nice jump. In control, no problem. First in Outlaw V, Just Pray. There's Immaculate Conception on the inside now, challenging Just Pray. These two boats have been battling ever since the green flag. Immaculate Conception in first place. Tress Martin and Todd Clinworth. Just Pray on the outside, right behind, in second. All right, there's Warlock Phantom coming up in third place here in Outlaw V. Warlock Phantom with Richard Granville, the driver, and Bob Eubanks is the throttleman. They're battling here for second place with Just Pray and Warlock Phantom. A battle for second. Of course, Warlock in first place in the national point standings. Warlock, another 24-foot Armada. Freeze frame video would like to give a special thanks to Warlock Phantom for helping to sponsor in part this freeze frame video production of this race here in Buffalo and the other races as well during the 2000 racing season. In second place in Outlaw V, Warlock Phantom. Immaculate Conception in first and Just Pray in third. You're watching the last stop on the APBA Pro Series 2000 and the 7th national race before we go to the national and world championships. The Buffalo Offshore Challenge. A beautiful but chilly day here in Buffalo. There's Performance Marine, a 28-foot power play. Performance Marine powered. Jim McCulloch is the driver. Pat Sullivan is the throttleman, currently in third place in the national point standings. in Outlaw C. This boat rigged and maintained by Performance Marine. Other competitors in Outlaw C, Great Lakes Casters, Mountain Dew, Warlock, and Anything's Possible. Performance Marine, #1 right now in Outlaw C. Some of the shoreline there, the landscape in the background, and puffy clouds you can see. On bumpy Lake Erie. Jim McCulloch and Pat Sullivan, driver and throttle man, aboard this 28-foot power play. Both of these guys are from Florida. Jim from Deerfield Beach and Pat from Pompano Beach. They're probably feeling the chill right now. In first place in Outlaw C, Performance Marine. There is the marina, the Erie Basin Marina, in the background. All right, we're going to go with Mountain Dew now, C4. It's a 25-foot progression, hardcore racing power. We got Jim Arvis aboard. He's the driver. Justin Halter, the throttle man. Right now, Mountain Dew is in first place in the national point standings in C-Class. Mountain Dew. Sponsor is Aquamax, as a construction services provider that delivers the fastest constructed, highest quality, best value building delivery method available. It is all about speed and accuracy if you're going to make it to the winner's circle. Aquamax is the best delivery system available in the world, and the company plans to set a world record in 2001 by placing a 50,000 square foot single-story office building in less than 10 days. The mission of Aquamax exemplifies the sport of offshore powerboat racing. The company also offers exterior and interior cladding products that are the highest quality, fastest installed in the industry. Aquamax. And right now, Mountain Dew is in second place in Outlaw C. Aquamax, by the way, is located in Richmond, Virginia. By the way, Jim Arvis will be the driver of the F1 Warlock boat in this afternoon's race. In fact, he won, by the way, that Warlock boat is first in class in the national point standings. Nice throttling there by Justin Halter. Jim Arvis, the driver. In second place in Outlaw C. Hardcore racing powered. 25-foot progression. In Outlaw E is Warlock Powerboats. It's a 28-foot Warlock, Mercury powered, with Ron Lodowick, the driver, and Dub Wing, the throttle man. Currently in second place in the national point standings. Warlock Powerboats, E96. Fountain, the other competitor in Outlaw E. Nice jump there. You're watching the Buffalo Offshore Challenge 2000. Last stop on the APBA Pro Series. Of course, the last stop before the Nationals in Washington, North Carolina. Nice jump there. Of course, World Championships coming to you from St. Petersburg. Go rocking and rolling for this 28-foot Warlock. Both of these crew members are from Georgia. Ron Ladowick from Flowery Branch, Georgia, and Duff from Gainesville. All right, it's E76 Fountain, the other Outlaw E-boat. It's a 27-foot fountain. Mercruiser powered. Reggie Fountain III is the driver, and Paula Miller, the throttle person. Currently fourth in national point standings. But Fountain right now is first in class in Outlaw E. And Reggie Fountain III is the driver. Reggie Fountain is in the rescue helicopter right now. Going for a ride. Paula Miller and Reggie Fountain III on board. E76 Fountain. Number one in Outlaw E. All right, let's go to the Outlaw C class, C19. Anything's possible coming up. Brian Frederick's the driver, and he's also the throttle man. Navigator is Kevin Frederick. It's a 27-foot Excalibur GM powered. Top of the pack in Outlaw Sea. Performance Marine, Great Lakes Casters, and Mountain Dew Warlock are the competitors in Outlaw Sea. Anything's possible. Nice driving there by Brian Frederick. Driving at throttle. From Bellbrook, Ohio. Little rockin' and rollin'. No problem, though. They're in control. GM powered, 650 horsepower. All right, let's go now with P461 Boxers, a 26-foot Suffin Chevy powered. Ernest Dupuy is the driver, and he's also the throttle man. David Ulbrich is the navigator. Boxer P461, top of the pack in performance class. Other competitors in its class include Rindle Racing Team, Motion Marine, and Drillin'. That's Performance Class 4. Now they're on the outside. We believe that is Mountain Dew out of the race. Mountain Dew, you can see the engine hatches are up. That means that Mountain Dew would be in third place. Performance Marine in first, and Anything's Possible has moved into second place in Outlaw Sea. But here we're looking at Boxer in Performance Class 4 in first place. There you see many clouds, puffy clouds there in the sky, though some of the sun is breaking through. You're watching the 2000 Buffalo Offshore Grand Prix right here in Buffalo, New York on Lake Erie. All right, let's go with Wild Rose now, P577. It's a 28-foot Sensation, Mercury-powered. And Thomas Barbato, he is the driver, and Bob Mazakowski is the throttle man. Wild Rose. Short Circuit, Not Guilty, and Mickey, other competitors in this performance class 5. Wild Rose, top of the pack. All right, special thanks to Richard Granville, also Dub, Ron, Kevin, Brian, David. They're with Warlock Powerboats. Special thanks to them for all of their help and support in setting up the boat for this race. Wild Rose. Tom Barbato and Bob Mazakowski, driver and throttle man. Little rocking and rolling, but no problem. This team took a third place in Maryland, also raced in Sarasota. Tom is from Long Valley, New Jersey, and Bob from Sewanee, Georgia. All right, in Performance 5 class, there is Short Circuit. Skip Gabler is the driver. He's also the throttle man. Keith Pachurl is the navigator. It's a 27-foot Magnum Chevy-powered. Two 300 horsepower Chevy engines. Currently fourth in the national point standings in Performance 5 class. Short Circuit. Other competitors include Wild Rose, Not Guilty, and Mickey. P569. Bumpy waters here on Lake Erie for this Buffalo Offshore Grand Prix. Nice jump. Short Circuit. Skip Gabler, driver and throttle man. He's from Algonac, Michigan. This will be the last boat that we'll be covering for you in the first race. And we'll have the second race for you of the day, this afternoon's race, in a few moments. Getting a little rocky here on Lake Erie. Keith Charles, the navigator for this 27-foot Magnum. Boat took a first place in St. Clair earlier this year. Currently in fourth place in the national point standings. All right, we're in the milling area now for the second race of the day. We're in the milling area. We've got, of course, Outlaw A and P-Class 1 and 2 and Factory 1. Now, this is the P1 and P2 start, but we're going to go with the second start, Factory 1. AC out for Justice in Paradise. And we're going with the second start, as we just said, in Factory 1, as the first one just took off. Factory 1, boats like Team Warlock, Team Progression, Moral Hazard, Team Warlock Powerboat, Typhoon, Ale House, Full Tilt Racing, FountainDirect.com, Twisted Chicks, there you see the boats going out, Rusty Wallace, Team Baja, and Team Formula. 12 competitors in all in Factory 1. And as they begin to spread out in the lineup, we're moments away from the green flag. And as the boats line up, there is Formula, Moral Hazard, Typhoon, Warlock, Ale House, and Wallace Fountain, as you can see. On the far outside is FountainDirect.com, Progression, and Twisted Chicks, waiting for the green. And we've got a green flag now here in this Buffalo Offshore Challenge in this Factory 1 start. And on to the immediate lead there, we've got Moral Hazard and Wallace Fountain, Typhoon, Warlock, and Ale House. Those are your early leaders in this Factory 1 start. Moral Hazard, Wallace Fountain, Typhoon, Warlock, and Ale House. And we got Progression, Twisted Chicks, and the other Warlock on the outside as well. And of course, as we look downfield there, we see some of the other competitors. Everyone off to a great start. Looking downfield a little bit more here in this Factory 1 start, 12 competitors in all. And looking to the leaders, there is Wallace Fountain in the lead right now with Mitch Miller and Benny Robinson. In second is F102 Warlock with Richard Granville and Bob Eubanks. And in third, it's Moral Hazard with Craig Edwards and Kent Collier. On the outside, we got Ale House and Typhoon as well, right in the pack. So it's Wallace Fountain, Moral Hazard, and F102 Warlock, and Typhoon and Ale House all in the picture in the early moments of this race. On board now, Typhoon at the start. Typhoon, a 26-foot kryptonite with Glenn Murray and Randy Schluss, driver and throttle man. There's Moral Hazard on the left side, Warlock on the right. Splashing there on the windshield. Glenn Murray and Randy Schluss. Two cameras, one forward and one back. Ale House on the far right. Ale House. Great start for Typhoon. There's our helicopter. Around the turn. "26-foot kryptonite Typhoon." Mercury powered. Nice throttling there by Randy Schluss from Edison, New Jersey. Back to your helicopter shot. There's F-102 Warlock and L House. Standing up there to the leaders, there's Wallace Fountain and F-102 Warlock and Moral Hazard. Moral Hazard, 26-foot Wellcraft with Craig Edwards and Ken Collier, Mercruiser powered. And there's Ale House right alongside Moral Hazard. Battle for third. Ale House is a 26-foot Wellcraft with Chip Johnson, the driver. Bob Christie is the throttle man, Mercury powered. And on the far outside is Twisted Chicks and F-191 Warlock. There's Moral Hazard, Moral Hazard. And there's the F-102 Warlock in second place. Moral Hazard's main sponsor, EP Marine Insurance. They're able to insure factory class boats while racing in business since 1930. They are one of the nation's largest marine insurance agencies. Moral Hazard. There is Warlock there on the outside, F-102. Moral Hazard on the inside in second place. Moral Hazard, 26-foot Wellcraft. Second place in Factory 1. Wallace Fountain in first place currently. Moral Hazard in second. Here is Wallace Fountain in first place in Factory 1. All right, it's a 29-foot Fountain, Mercury powered with Ben Robertson and Mitch Miller aboard. Wallace Fountain, Mercury powered, 29-footer of Fountain. Bobby Waters here on Lake Erie in this Factory 1 start. There's F-191 right behind the Warlock. And there's Moral Hazard on the inside. So they are moving out now. And there's Wallace Fountain in that shot as well. Both boats have passed Wallace Fountain. There's F-191 on the outside. The Warlock on the inside, it's Moral Hazard. They are now battling for first place in Factory 1. A Warlock boat on the outside, Moral Hazard on the inside. Door-to-door racing here in Factory 1 class. On the inside, Moral Hazard with Craig Edwards and Ken Collier. Driver and throttleman. On the outside is F-191 Team Warlock with Jim Arvis and Lance Hendrickson. By the way, Team Warlock 191 in first place in the national point standings in Factory 1. Door-to-door racing here in class. Warlock boat pulling out. Jim Arvis and Lance Hendrickson, a 26-foot Warlock Mercury powered. Jim Arvis from Mechanicsville, Virginia. "12 competitors in all in Factory 1. But this boat right here, F-191 Team Warlock, is your leader. Great job there by Lance Henriksen on throttle. A lot of hanging and banging here in Buffalo at this Buffalo Offshore Grand Prix. Last stop for the APBA Pro Series. Let's go on board now. On board Warlock with Jim Arvis and Lance Henriksen.
I'm on the mark. Can't see. No, I'm not on the mark. Now I am. What's beside me? I gotta move over hard. Talk to me. What's beside me on the left? You got it. You're clear. Man, they're fucking going, man. So are we. Now, we're going right, but we're not lifting.
There's Wallace Fountain in the shot right behind.
This is gonna get snarl. I'm ready.
And Marl Hazard, you see the wake of Marl Hazard on the right side.
Damn, my fucking heart's gonna jump out of my chest. Where are you? What side are we going? Heading the pen, man. I'm ready for the pen. All right, we got it. Easy now, easy. It gets real rough in here. Please, easy. Understood. How tight? How tight are you turning? I'm not turning tight at all. Oh, man. Sorry, man. I'm trying to miss the big ones if I can. Not your shot.
Team Warlock F191, number 1 in Factory 1.
Talk to me. We're fine, we're fine. What's on the left? Anything? Clear! Clear! Okay, I hear you. Well, you gotta talk to me. See that? You want me to lift? No? Well, why?
Factory helicopter shot. Team Warlock F191. All right, there's team progression on the inside with L House and Full Tilt Marine on the far outside. Team progression. It's a 26-foot progression, Merc Cruiser powered. Kevin Lochran is the driver. Scott Hodem is the throttle man. Team progression in Factory 1. Now, Team progression is running with its state-of-the-art 27-foot Factory 1 boat. Superb driving. There on the outside is L House on the outside. Kevin Lochran and Scott Hodem, as we tell you, driver and throttle man. Now, Progression 27 is a full-blown factory-produced boat, identical in every respect from the hull they produced to the public. No compromises. Every Progression is 100%. 100% balsa cord with extensive use of exotic composites and AME 4000 series resin, coupled with 100% vacuum bagging technology to yield a hull unrivaled in strength and lightweight. No hull blueprinting needed. Every progression hull is race ready. In fact, this progression is so light it carries several hundred pounds of extra ballast to fulfill the requirements of Factory One racing. Progression custom builds 22 to 29-foot pleasure boats in your choice of colors and engine applications to fit any need. There's full tilt racing on the outside. All Progression models can be seen at progressionboats.com. And you get a Progression 10-year hull warranty. Full tilt racing on the outside, and of course Team Progression on the inside. Team Progression, 27-foot progression on the inside with Kevin Lochran at the wheel, Scott Hodem, the throttle man, doing a fine job. Full tilt racing, a 28-foot Warlock with Charlie Smith and Mike Myers, driver and throttle man on the outside. Yellow boat, there it is. Back to Team Progression. Battle here in Factory One. Team Progression and full tilt racing. Just saw that wake there going by. That was the wake of Alehouse, which just hooked it and temporarily out of the race, and hopefully it'll get started again. Alehouse with a problem. Full tilt racing on the outside. It's F-114, 28-foot Warlock, Mercruiser powered. As we said, Charlie Smith is the driver. Mike Myers is the throttle man. Team Progression on the inside. Great racing here in Factory One class, door-to-door competition between these two boats. They are cranking. Full tilt racing. Little rocking. Little rocking and rolling, but they're in control, doing a great job. There's traffic light up ahead on the left side, traffic light. And full tilt right behind. Full tilt passing traffic light. There's Team Progression right behind. Full tilt. Yellow boat with a slight edge. Mike Myers at throttle, doing a fine job. He is from Arriva, Maryland. Charlie Smith, the driver, from Waldorf, Maryland. A lot of jumping going on. Team Progression right behind. Kevin Lochran and Scott Hodem aboard. All right, lots and lots of Factory One boats coming up here downfield. On the inside is Moral Hazard. Moral Hazard on the inside. And on the far outside is the F-102 Warlock boat. Great jump there by Moral Hazard. F-102 on the far outside with Richard Granville and Bob Eubanks in the Warlock boat there on the outside. around the turn. Moral Hazard and F102. Great competition in this class. Factory 1. On the inside, there's Alehouse coming into the picture with Chip Johnson and Bob Christie, a 26-foot Wellcraft. Alehouse Racing. So we've got Alehouse on the inside there. On the outside of the F102 Warlock boat, and just slightly ahead is Moral Hazard. Of course, Alehouse spun out a little while ago, but managed to get going again and is back in this race, doing well. Alehouse currently in second place in the national point standings. Alehouse, Moral Hazard, and Warlock F102. Moral Hazard on the inside, F102 Warlock there up ahead slightly on the outside. Battle continues in Factory 1 around the turn. Moral Hazard catching some of the wake there of F102. F102 Warlock with Richard Granville and Bob Eubanks, driver and throttleman. It's a 25-foot Warlock. Special thanks to Richard Granville to sponsor in part this freeze frame video production of this race. Now F191, the other Warlock boat, is in first place in Factory 1 and first in the national point standings. Moral Hazard back in the picture, not giving up. Moral Hazard, Factory 123, 26-foot Wellcraft. Great competition here in Factory 1. These boats, all of them, doing a great job. Craig Edwards, the driver. Ken Collier, the throttle man, aboard Moral Hazard. And there on the outside, the other Warlock boat, F102.
Hey, big wave, here we go. Good, go. Beautiful job, Bob. Beautiful job. Unbelievable.
Aboard F102.
Is it running too flat? Yeah, way too flat. Get us up. That's where up. Go ahead. There you go. Good job. Go, go, go.
Richard Granville at the wheel.
Well, I give anything for a couple more feet of boat. Yeah. Hit it, baby. We got to get a good run on these guys up here so we can make a good run on them in straightaway. Fucking scare him. He's catching us. No. Big wave. Good job. We're only getting like 65 out here. We got to figure out a better plan. Yeah. Change something, do something. I did. Drive down a little bit more. I just don't know how much of this cab I could put you down. When I go up to 3, it's loose. When I go down to 4, it's too flat. Try 3.5. That's the stick. That's better right there. Now we're getting a little more speed. It's the 69. Hey, we already did a lap, so. Yeah, all right, here we turn in now, okay? Yeah. Going. You're gonna get him right here. Go, keep this going, Bob. You got a good line going here.
Nice throttling there by Bob Eubanks.
Good throttling job, Bob. All right, start bringing it up. Start bringing everything up now.
Moral hazard there. And F-102 Warlock right behind. And Alehouse behind Warlock. Alehouse and Warlock battling here in Factory 1. Alehouse getting the edge. Getting real pretty here in Buffalo as the sun begins to go down. All right, in the distance and getting closer, F-129 Typhoon. It's a 26-foot kryptonite. Mercury-powered Glenn Murray's the driver. Randy Schluss is the throttle man. Typhoon in Factory 1. They'd like to give a special thanks to their crew chief at Typhoon Marine, Andy Loonsbury, and also Chuck, full of their rigging expertise and time directed to making this boat highly competitive in this race. Typhoon Marine is located in Toms River, New Jersey, and specializes in all your high-performance needs, from engine building, dyno testing, to competition rigging. Also, special thanks to sponsor Funk Lawn Care from Tonawanda, New York, full of your needs in lawn fertilizing. Owner Bob Funk, by the way, is also a crew member. Other crew members at this race are Martha, Shelby, Christian, Pam, Jeff, Ryan, and Crystal, and Cole. Typhoon running very, very well here in this Buffalo Offshore Grand Prix. 26-foot kryptonite. And of course, we got two cameras on this boat, one looking forward, one back. We'll go on board in a few moments. 27-foot kryptonite. Many, many spectators there, as you can see, in the distance watching this last scheduled national race for the APBA before we get to the Nationals and the Worlds. And of course, Freeze Frame Video Productions will be a part of those championships. Certainly proud to be a part of them. All right, let's go back aboard Warlock F-102 with Richard Granville and Bobby Eubanks and catch some of their conversation.
Yeah, but you dropped the pickup. Check it now again. Because my speedo says we're going faster. Well, my speedo says we gained a whole mile an hour right there. Yeah, you're right. It's going to go down before it goes up. Okay, so next straightaway we're going to take it to that point, maybe a little bit further, okay? We're burning off fuel, so we might have to try trying stuff, okay? Yeah. Okay, start dropping the drive. We're turning. Here we go. Oh, they almost just busted right there. That was what? I don't know what. Keep on it, buddy. We got it. We're perfectly set right here. Haul the mail, baby. Haul the mail. Okay, get those tabs in the water. I'm trying. Oh my God!
Oh, there's a problem. Morrow Hazard has spun out. One of the crew members is in the water, and they're waving. Granville's waving so other boats don't run them over. Typhoon now has come into the scene. There in the back, you might see one of the crew members in the water.
Get over there. Get over there.
Warlock has stopped. They're on board Typhoon now. Glenn Murray and Randy Schluss. 27-foot kryptonite. All right, Typhoon is slowing down, and coming to the scene there where Morrow Hazard has spun out, and there he goes, Randy Schluss, the throttle man, going and jumping into the water, trying to help one of these guys. There's Glenn Murray. Angel rescue helicopter on its way. Also, Twisted Chicks is on the scene as well. Warlock and Typhoon as well. As we said, Morrow Hazard spun out, and one of the crew members is in the water. We just saw Randy Schluss jump in, trying to give assistance. Morrow Hazard with a problem, but of course the other competitors here trying to assist. There you see one of the patrol boats now coming onto the scene as well, trying to help out. And there you see the Angel rescue helicopter. Jim Poplin, safety director. The dive medics have been deployed in the water. Apparently it was Kent Collier, the throttleman of Morrow Hazard, that went in the water. Craig Edwards stayed in the boat. And now there you see Glenn Murray trying to help out Randy Schluss, who's coming back. A lot of competitive spirit here in Buffalo, New York, here at this Offshore Grand Prix. But when something like this happens, of course, all of these guys try and help each other out. Great sportsmanship. displayed here by the crew members of Team Warlock and Typhoon, as well as Twisted Chicks. Once again, the patrol boat you can see in the background. Ken Collier, the man who went in the water. There's Randy Schluss coming back on. Tried to help out Ken Collier. And we understand that Ken is okay, and also the other crew member, Craig Edwards, he's also okay aboard Moral Hazard. So a little confusion here in this race as both of these crew members here get suited back up and get ready to get back in the race. Randy Schluss and Glenn Murray aboard Typhoon, who stopped to help out the crew members aboard Moral Hazard. Moral Hazard spitting out. All right, Typhoon back in the race. Nice gesture by all the competitors involved in the rescue attempt. Randy Schluss and Glenn Murray, throttle man and driver. Glenn there on the left, Randy on the right. Mercury powered. Back shot. Very sportsmanship-like gesture by everyone involved here in this incident, where we saw Moral Hazard spinning out, Ken Collier being thrown in the water, but everyone is now okay. All right, back to the race. Let's go with Out for Justice in Performance 1. It's a 36-foot Cobra powered by two 800 horsepower PH Marine inboards. John Kostalik is the driver. Larry Kostalik is the throttle man. Out for Justice sponsors include East Coast Contracting, RW Performance, Chateau Custom Home Builders. Sponsors for this boat. Took a second place twice and a third once at the Chesapeake Challenge in Baltimore, Maryland. Out for Justice, John and Larry Kostalik. There's Team Energy smoking the field in A-Class. Team Irresistible and Traffic Light, the other boats in A-Class. Team Energy in first place. Out for Justice. Running excellent. Rough waters, though, here in Lake Erie in Buffalo, New York. Buffalo Offshore Challenge 2000. .36-foot Cobra out for Justice. Larry Kostalik, the throttle man. John Kostalik, the driver. They're both from Pennsylvania, Keystone State. There's traffic light on the outside. Traffic light. A lot of bumping here in Lake Erie. Nice jump. Out for justice. All right, there's Wallace Fountain with Ben Robertson, the driver, and Mitch Miller, the throttleman. It's a 29-foot fountain, mercury powered. These guys will run Lake Cumberland tomorrow. Reggie Fountain is in the helicopter watching how the boat is performing. Wallace Fountain, Factory 1. Wallace Fountain with Mitch Miller and Ben Robertson here in Buffalo. There's Team Baja. Team Baja on the inside. It's a 25-foot Baja with Ken Aquino, the driver. Gene Weeks is the throttle man. Mercruiser powered. F-135. Great throttling there by Gene Weeks from Reddington Shore, Florida. Ken from Grimsby, Ontario. Team Baja. Wallace Fountain on the outside. Team Baja now getting the edge ever so slightly. Wallace Fountain on the outside. Team Baja on the inside, battling here in Factory 1. Team Baja now has passed Wallace Fountain. Team Baja top of the pack. We understand in the top 5. Team Warlock is in first place. Team Progression in second. And Team Formula in third, and Baja could be fourth or fifth at this point. There's traffic light on the outside. Nice jump there. Team Baja. Well, rocking and rolling there side to side. All right, FountainDirect.com in Factory 1 class. Michael Jordan is the driver. Charles Amon is the throttle man. It's a 29-foot Fountain. Third in the national point standings for this boat. FountainDirect.com doing a fine job here in Buffalo. FountainDirect.com. Middle of the pack. Mercury powered, 500 horsepower. Michael Jordan doing a fine job at the wheel. He's from Cincinnati, Ohio. Charles Amon, throttle man, also from Cincinnati. Michael Jordan has been a Fountain dealer for some 16 years, and of course you can visit his website. Guess where? That's right, FountainDirect.com. As we said, this boat is in third place in the national point standings. And there's Reggie Fountain in the helicopter, checking out another Fountain. This race is winding down. Just a few more boats for you. Of course, then we'll have the final results of this race as well as the morning's race. Last national race before the national championships in Washington, North Carolina, the Fountain plant. Of course, there will be a divisional race at Holiday Isle. And of course, the World Championships at St. Petersburg. There's Team Energy, Team Energy. A55, it's a 29-foot extreme. And we've got this Scott Lucero. He is the driver. He's from California, Lake Elsinore, California. And Chris McElwee is a throttle man. He's from Mishawaka, Indiana. This boat in first place in A-class has led from the green, right from the start. Team Energy, 29-foot extreme, Teague powered. Other competitors, Team Irresistible and Traffic Light. There's Typhoon on the inside. Typhoon in Factory 1. Currently, it's in first place in the national point standings in A-class, the 2000 racing season. Took a third place in San Diego, first in Fort Myers, first in Texas. Teague powered, won 700 horsepower and inboard. Scott Lucero and Chris McElwee. Just listen to that Teague power plant. Team Energy, A55, your leader in A-Class. Scott Lucero and Chris McElwee aboard. Nice jump there by Team Energy. Team Progression going around the turn. Team Progression. F-154. It's a 27-foot progression. Mercruiser powered. Kevin Lochran is the driver. Scott Hodem is a throttle man. Currently in second place, and Factory One has moved up to second place. Of course, Team Progression powerboats are built on Long Island. Progression powerboats come with a 10-year hull warranty. There's Team Energy on the outside going by. Team Energy. Team Progression on the inside. So in Factory One, well, it's Team Warlock in first. As we said, Team Progression is in second. Team Formula in third. Team Baja in fourth. And Rusty Wallace Fountain in fifth place at this point. Unofficially. As this race winds down. And we head for the finish line. A good run for Team Progression in this race. Kept competitive and moved up to second place. And that's it. It is over. The second race for this event here today, here in the Buffalo area, the Buffalo Offshore Grand Prix. Great competition, great racing. There we see some of the spectators. Of course, we're now flying over the marina, the Erie Basin Marina, which is the place for the wet pits and the dry pits. And we had great weather as well, though the waters were somewhat bumpy here in Lake Erie today. And of course, the temperatures were chilly, 50 degrees thereabouts, 50, 55, but highly competitive racing here in this last national race before the Nationals and the World Championships for the APBA, which are coming up in October and November. Good racing here in Buffalo. Of course, we had one mishap. That Marl Hazard boat spun out and one of the crew members got in the water. And though nice gesture by a lot of the other competitive crew members who stopped and tried to help out and rescue Ken Collier, who was thrown in the water. Great sportsmanship displayed here as well as the competitive spirit. Buffalo, New York, Lake Erie. All right, in Factory One, Team Warlock, F-191, getting the checkered flag in first place, followed by Team Progression and Team Formula in third place in Factory One. And Team Warlock extending its lead in the national point standings. In Outlaw A, Team Energy on top, followed by Team Irresistible and Traffic Light in third place. Team Energy, your winner in Outlaw A. First in national point standings as well, Team Energy. Outlaw C, Performance Marine, followed by Anything's Possible, and Mountain Dew bringing up third place. Performance Marine in first place in Outlaw C. And in Outlaw E, Fountain, your winner, getting the checkered flag, followed by Warlock Powerboats in second. Fountain number one in Outlaw E. In Outlaw P4, performance for Boxer on top, followed by Drillin' and Motion Marine. A Boxer getting the checkered flag in P4. In P5, Wild Rose had a wild ride and got a checkered flag. Short Circuit in second place. Mickey bringing up third place. Wild Rose, number 1 in P5. And in V class, it was Immaculate Conception in the morning's race, followed by Warlock Phantom and Just Pray in third. Immaculate Conception all the way, getting a checkered flag in Outlaw V class. And those are your final results here at the Buffalo Offshore Grand Prix. Great racing, highly competitive racing, as we said, though. One mishap, but everyone is okay, and the fellow competitors displayed great sportsmanship in slowing down, stopping, and trying to help out Ken Collier, who was thrown from moral hazard. Now, before we go, there are a few people that we would like to thank. First off, the entire APBA staff and the Buffalo Offshore Racing Association for orchestrating the fine event. Also, special thanks to Gary Johnson for his fine camera work. Peter Magnani, our onboard camera installer. Also, of course, Mr. Bob Buss, our helicopter pilot from Maryland. And a special thanks to Warlock Powerboats, Team Yahoo, and Speedwear for sponsoring this freeze-frame video tape production here in Buffalo, as well as other races during the 2000 racing season. So on behalf of Jeff Girardi and the rest of the freeze-frame video production crew, this is Vince Lipari wishing you a fond farewell from Buffalo, New York, hoping to see you either in Holiday Isle or in Washington, North Carolina, the 8th stop on the National APBA Pro Series Tour. Bye, everyone.